Hi, welcome to Smosh Reads Reddit Stories. I'm Shane, and today's theme is entitled. And today joining me are two of the most entitled people I've ever known. Tommy and special guest, Sarah Whittle.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Sarah,
You deserve it.
Yeah.
Sarah, who you used to be in charge of this channel and so much at Smosh.
Yeah, I think I did over the 5 years I worked here. I think I did every single job.
Yeah, you ran like our socials.
Coordinator, PA, cast member for a bit, like director, executive producer of everything, like literally marketing, social media, did everything.
Yeah, and I feel like Tommy, when you first joined Smosh, like you were working with Sarah a ton.
It was just
I
us
brought
two.
him
It was
in.
you
I
brought
brought
you.
him in.
You
It
are
was just
you
us
are the
two.
reason we have Tommy.
Yeah, actually, yes, because like when Mythical bought Smosh, it became like we were like grabbing onto each other like the Titanic was sinking. We were like, you and Courtney were like, Sarah, please come back. And I was like, okay, I'll come back. Tommy, come back.
My body was ice cold, and Sarah was like, oh, whoa.
That's
You
true.
reawakened him.
Yeah. So we got the
Tommy
band
descended back
together.
into the La Brea tar pits, and we had to get him back.
Real talk though, like, yeah, it is so, I'm so proud of you guys. And I know Shane and Tommy, you guys just visited me in New York. I think we both separately cried, but like, I'll say it again, I'll say it a million times. I am so proud of what you guys have done since I've left in 2021. I've stayed such close, I mean, you guys are my best friends, like, stayed such close friends, but like, seeing the growth of the thing that I felt so ingrained in creating and like seeing where it is now, I genuinely think you guys are in a golden era, and I'm like proud mama, super fan. I'm watching all the content. I'm texting you guys all the time. So I am so proud of what you guys have done, and I'm just like, I am like the #1 Smosh fan.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, I mean,
Sarah.
I think it goes without saying, like, Smosh has been in this golden era for a couple of years, but so much of it is due to like all the things that were put in place for years
Absolutely.
leading up to that. And so much of it is owed to the decisions you made. Like, I feel like you really molded like a lot of the creative that we still follow.
That's great.
Anyway, I'm waiting for my caviar. I requested it.
Okay, now you're acting a little
you're
entitled.
acting a little entitled.
That's called a segue.
There we go.
All right, let's get into these stories.
That was good.
Thank you.
How much do entitled people bother you?
So much. Oh my God, it rages me so much.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it exists around the world, but I do feel like in America, maybe this is just because I've experienced this more than anything, but I just feel like America can be the heartland of entitlement.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah, like individualism's so popular that
Exactly.
people are just like, yes,
It just comes with it.
I have the right to everything.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's get into these and see what we're dealing with. Our first story comes from Am I Overreacting? This was posted only a couple months ago. Am I overreacting? Roommate constantly expects me to leave so she can sleep with guys.
Oh.
Hello, posting on a different account. This happened yesterday. Today, she ended up just going to the guy's place instead of bringing him to our apartment, but she refuses to speak to me. In the first slide, the names I blurred out are my boyfriend's name and a friend of mine's name. So this is a text conversation I'll be reading.
There's
Okay.
visual aid.
All right.
Slide.
Roommate says, hi, I'm having a guy over tomorrow around like 7. Would you be able to stay somewhere else for a few hours? OP says, how long?
Hours.
They say, I'm not sure if he'll be spending the night yet if YGM.
You get me.
You get me.
You get me.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll be spending the night yet. You get me. OP says, I don't really anywhere I can go. Have anywhere.
We're also speaking in code.
Yeah. Can you not go over to your boyfriend's place? He's visiting his family. He isn't around. Surely there is someone's house you can go to. Go to blank. I already went to blank on Tuesday because you had a different guy over. It's not fair of me to keep inconveniencing people like that. She doesn't even care, and you don't have to say it like that. What? You don't have to say that like I'm a whore or something. OP says, I didn't call you a whore. I just said I already went to blank's place Tuesday because you had a guy over. You said different guy like I'm sleeping with loads of different people. Okay,
Oh,
I wasn't trying to make it seem like that. I was just saying it's not fair. It's my apartment too, and this would be like the 3rd time this week I've had to find somewhere else to stay. I don't mind you bringing people over, but when it's happening multiple times a week and I have to look for other places to stay over because of it, it's not exactly fair. The roommate says, yeah, good job on not calling me a whore. OP continues, everything I said are things that are just factual. You are constantly bringing over guys, and I constantly have to stay over somewhere else because of it. That's not calling you a whore. It's literally just telling the truth. You can sleep with who you want. I'm not judging you, but I just don't appreciate having to leave my apartment constantly because of it. So you can bring blank over, but just because I'm bringing over guys I'm not in a relationship with, it's not okay. OP says, I purposely go to blank's place because he lives alone, so it's easier that way. And I don't expect you to leave the apartment whenever he comes over when we're literally just hanging out. Blank barely comes over. It's not even comparable to how often you bring people over. Roommate says, I don't get why it's a problem having to stay in your boyfriend's place for a night or for a few hours. Like, I can understand not wanting to do that to our friends, but literally, why would your boyfriend mind? OP says, are you forgetting that we share the same apartment? He doesn't mind me coming over, but my whole point is that we both live in that apartment. I'm entitled to stay there when I want. I live there. It's not fair that you constantly expect me to just leave whenever you want me to just because I can't go to my boyfriend's place. Roommate says, I just don't understand why you're acting like this is the end of the world because you have to go somewhere else for a few hours and basically insinuating that I'm a whore. I don't know what your problem is all of a sudden.
Leaping.
OP says, I asked you in the past to try to stop bringing over so many people because of this, and you agreed, but then just kept doing it. We are both trying to make different points, and you aren't understanding what I'm saying about this being my apartment too. Roommate says, okay, let's end the drama here. I'll figure something else out, Jesus Christ. OP continues, we were both in the kitchen at the same time today, and she kept slamming cupboards and placing things down extremely aggressively. I went to shower after her and my conditioner had just accidentally opened and spilled all over the shower floor.
Oh, come on.
I really don't know if I was being too harsh or not, but at the same time, I don't feel like it's fair that I'm constantly expected to stay in other places so she can bring people over. I asked her to bring over less people in the past, and she agreed, but then continued to just do the same shit afterwards. Am I overreacting in this whole situation?
No.
No.
No. Next story.
No, move on.
Dear
I'm a little confused. They have their own rooms, probably, right?
That's the thing.
I get that it's like, hey, in common spaces, it's just like, all right,
Yes.
like, hey, like, I'm gonna bring a guy over, like
we're gonna have dinner.
Okay,
And
is it okay if we kind of hang in the kitchen, like whatever?
Give 'em
but
a heads
even
up.
then, like, if I were dating someone and I go over to their apartment and it's like, oh, and this is my roommate, it's just like, cool, like, nice to meet
Very
you.
You respect
natural
the same
situation.
contract.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you're gonna be. This is your space too. It's like we'll have a nice dinner. They come in and they get something out of the kitchen. You don't have to go hello. You
Yeah.
can just
Yeah.
keep having your dinner.
You're co-living.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask a question that feels obvious, at least to me. Are they having crazy big band mariachi loud crazy times in both the living room and her room, and that's why she wants
But maybe
Are they
it's just
putting on
the
a show?
noise thing too on its own. Like even if she was in the bedroom with her date, maybe she's self-conscious about the noise. But again, I go back to like the price of community is annoyance. Like
Right.
if you're in a roommate situation, your roommate may hear your love making. I hate
You did a
calling
great
it
job.
that.
You did a great job.
I
You did a
know,
great
I
job.
hate
You did a great
calling it
job.
That felt so stupid. But like that's just like
Yeah, just
and
prove
then
it.
the roommate gets to decide like, oh, am I gonna like enjoy this? Am I gonna turn up music?
Enjoy it.
Am I gonna like hate it and leave the house? Like,
Right.
Like her
you're
roommate.
co-living.
Her roommate could be like, hey, look, I'm bringing some people over. It's like, great, I'm gonna be staying here too. It's like, great, we're gonna be doing some boisterous but like,
Right.
that's
what
like,
it is.
Okay, then you
and,
will.
and also like if you made it like if you bring home a guy and you're like trying to be quiet, ain't that like that's a little fun part too, right? Like
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
there
like
could be fun
sneaky
to that, too.
sneaky.
that's a little sneaky hot part.
But it does make me question what you're talking about of like,
Right.
are they using the whole space?
the whole space.
Are
at that
are
point-
some of the contracts being broken?
I think so.
But every time with the new partner, like I'm not.
It feels strange to like if I was in because I've had roommates before, but if the rule was whenever we bring someone over, you can't be here, I'm like, that does not
that
work.
sucks.
doesn't work.
Yeah, that
That
sucks.
simply because what if she breaks up with her boyfriend?
Exactly.
It's like then
I need
go
to live here all the
outside.
time.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Go on a
Exactly.
3-hour walk. Okay, here a fun proposal for the person who's bringing people over.
Threesome. No.
Oh.
I thought we were going
No.
there. I thought we
Whoa.
were going there.
Whoa.
No? Okay.
Whoa. Whoa.
This is a Christian channel. I
Yes, it's a
forgot.
Christian channel.
We
I
are a
forgot.
religious program.
Yeah, we're live streaming after the rapture right now.
We are left.
If she wanted to pay for 2/3 of the other person's rent.
Period. Yeah,
It's like, oh, you want full dominion over this space? Well, then I pay $300 a month to sleep in my bedroom sometimes.
Look,
I mean, it's crazy.
like, we all know offline that I had like a time in my life in Los Angeles where I was having a lot of fun.
I think
going
we've
on
all
a
had that.
And it was a really
Yeah.
fun time. It never like phased me. Not Shane.
But we.
But
we
you guys did.
Don't worry, Shane, you didn't miss out on anything.
You
okay.
didn't miss
It's
on
a lot of fun.
It's so much fun.
So cool.
It was so much fun. And no shame in the game. So I think it's
No
also
shame in
like
the game.
if you have a roster, that is okay. But it's like if you don't live alone, you don't live alone. So you gotta navigate that as like a normal human being. And like there was no name calling in that text. There was no insinuation.
No.
Like
Whoa, did you just say whore?
How dare you?
Whoa.
This is a feminist program. No, I've had roommates before, and when people bring people over, I never thought anything of it. I was just like, yeah, dude, like, we're in our 20s.
One time I had a roommate and when I lived out here in Los Angeles, and I brought a date over. And the next day, she was like an older lady, like in her 40s. I loved living with her.
That's awesome.
And she was so chill, and she was just so happy to be living together in Santa Monica. And I had a date over one night, and she was like, Sarah, I was hearing a little bit of last night. And she was like, that was kind of hot. And I was like, right?
Okay, so there you go. It's like maybe it could be a positive experience for everyone.
That's insane.
And I have no shame on that. And I have
No, that's really funny.
And like there was multiple dates going in and out of that apartment, and she never shamed me once. And so it's like just having that open, like non-judgmental conversation.
Yeah.
Claudio's gonna love watching
Yeah,
this
he's gonna love
episode.
this.
You notice that a painting in your bedroom has like Scooby-Doo holes cut out of the eyes?
She's like,
That painting of that fisherman seems to be looking around.
keep going.
I hate it.
No, this is just like really bad roommate like contract. And the
sure.
problem, I mean, like what sucks now is she needs to like move the boundary back to like a normal place of like, I do not need to leave my apartment. I'm paying rent. I'm paying rent for this day that I'm here. Like if I leave all night, then you owe me that, whatever that amounts to then. Like that's
Right.
not fair.
And living with a roommate is difficult. Like it's a
so
very,
difficult.
very
Of
hard
course.
situation. And so I think like maybe this is a conversation or something that's just like, hey, whenever the lease is up, I think like I gotta save up and prep to like
That
not
feels
be
like a
roommates
given.
with you anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's just too hostile.
This episode of Smosh Reads Reddit Stories is brought to you by ZocDoc. After Thanksgiving, I'm already thinking about the new year and all the appointments I need to book. From my dentist to my dermatologist, it can feel like a laundry list of appointments. It's easy to forget annual appointments, but this year I am ready and prepared with ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. Once you find the right doctor, you can see their appointment openings, select a time slot, and that's it. You're booked. I really like the search by location map. I'm able to be anywhere and find a doctor near me, and with more than 100,000 doctors across every specialty, I am never concerned I won't find someone for me. And with same-day appointments, I can quickly schedule the appointment, go get my teeth cleaned, and be on my way. I had delayed appointments for so long, and once I finally got ZocDoc, I had an appointment set within the week. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/pitreddit to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/pitreddit. ZocDoc.com/pitreddit. Back to the show. So, in the comments, OP mentions that she has only slept at their apartment 6 times in the last month. OP needs to. OP is not entitled enough. OP needs
flag
to
is
stand
flagging,
up for
exactly.
themselves and not tolerate this insanity.
That's less than a week out of the month.
yeah.
She should be paying $250.
At that point, you don't live there.
You
You
don't
don't
live
live there. You don't live there.
The heck?
Okay,
That sucks.
that's a.
This is starting to, can I be honest? This is starting to not, I'm questioning if this person is sleeping with people. I'm starting to be like, what are you actually doing that you are kicking them out of this apartment so often?
Oh, you think it's like a...
I'm just like, I just start to be like, what are all the other options?
Right.
Like, you're just having me out of the apartment so much.
Well, and that roommate is probably, to go down more the conspiracy, that roommate's probably like going out on dates with these people and being like, yeah, come back to my place. Like, no one's
It's
there.
empty. Yeah.
It's like, sometimes go to their apartment. That's also fun to judge.
Because this has become the normal for them. They're just like, oh, I basically have this apartment to myself.
Yeah.
While paying half the rent.
And why do you like not know if they're gonna like sleep over or not? Maybe it's like a first date and you don't know like how it's gonna net out.
Why are you doing a first date at your apartment?
No, I'm saying like the after party at the apartment, but you don't know if you're gonna like kick them out or like have the sleepover. But at that point, it's like, yeah, what are you doing all night long?
Right.
All night long.
Also, I wasn't like, with that frequency, I would be kind of worried about my stuff.
That's kind of more, I think, is like safety of just like, you're bringing strangers.
This is true too.
I don't know.
But if it was like 3 a month, 4 a month, I wouldn't be as concerned. But it's like I'm at home for 6 days out of the month.
6 days, yeah.
It's like I'm gonna be bringing my laptop with me, my passport with me.
But that's like a storage unit at that point. Like,
it really
that's
is.
not a home.
Yeah, no,
And
they're being robbed.
Yeah,
like
100%.
of rent.
Yeah.
Comments. I mean, you two are adults, just stay home. It's up to the guy to decide if it's weird or not. If she gets creeped out by it, then in his house. Yeah. OP says...
The in his house.
In his house.
Dude.
OP says, I've told her in the past that I don't mind just putting my AirPods on and listening to music, but she says she doesn't want me there. She rarely ever goes to their houses. She only seems to bring them here.
Something's going on.
Sorry.
Boo.
Someone said the main weird thing here is that either of you think the other has to leave when you have someone over for sex. You have your own private rooms. I've never heard of roommates expecting the other to leave because they have people spending the night. Do you guys think this is normal? Because this isn't something people usually do or expect. Just because you're going to have sex in your own separate rooms doesn't mean the other has to leave the apartment.
Exactly.
Someone says not overreacting. You were very calm and explained to her why you were upset with her request. Does she always ask you these things so short notice? It's like you said, this is your apartment too. Sure, there's something to be said about offering each other a private evening every once in a while if there's intimate company over, depending on the housing situation. But 3 times in 1 week, regardless if it's the same person or not, is a lot. The fact that she acted like you insulted her and put words into your mouth and then acted very passive-aggressively afterwards is not helping her case. I agree with another commenter that it sounds like you need to sit down and talk about this, and if not, maybe one of you needs to find another place if that's at all possible.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, this is the biggest red flag.
Nightmare roommate. Yeah, and the way they responded too. It's like, hey, I'm trying to offer like a...
What are you calling me, a whore?
Oh, you're calling me a whore? It's just like they're just shutting down the conversation.
Exactly.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Next story. This comes from Am I the Asshole? Also just a couple months ago. Am I the asshole for not waking up a tourist who overslept and missed the day trip she paid for?
Oy.
Just a tourist.
Just a tourist.
Just one tourist.
All right. Hi, guys. I, a 21-year-old woman, am a Bulgarian tour guide who accompanies groups to Sicily. On a recent trip, one woman who was traveling alone, mid-30s, was consistently oversleeping. The first day after we arrived, we had a day trip to Etna and Taormina, for which we departed at 8 a.m., as we do all our other day tours. I make sure that all tourists are informed of the departure times on the bus the day before, and they also have my number to call in case they forget, so I can remind them. They also all have printed out pamphlets with the schedule made by the travel agency that I hand out that has the time for departure on it. All of the group was on time except one woman. She was 10 minutes late, which, okay, maybe she got caught up in something and was late. I excused it, then mentioned to the whole bus on the mic that I do not tolerate lateness beyond 15 minutes at most in case of emergency, like a forgotten possession, and that I must always be called and informed in case someone is running late. The trip went by okay otherwise. The next day, this same tourist was late again by 25 minutes, almost an entire half hour. I called her twice to no answer, and we were just about to leave without her when she came out running and got on the bus. She got lucky as the receptionist of the hotel asked me about a missing piece of info on the rooming list and earned her some time. I reminded everyone again that I will not be waiting anymore for late tourists in the morning, and waking up on time is their responsibility. When we came back that evening, she asked me if I could make sure to wake her up on time. I reminded her a third time that I'm not responsible for waking people up. Everyone gets a printed itinerary with departure times, and I announce everything the day before. She kept saying, no, just knock on my door if I'm not out by 8:15. And I kept repeating, I really can't do that for everyone. Please set an alarm. Well, on the day we were visiting Syracuse, she didn't show up. I waited 15 minutes after the supposed departure time, called her twice to no response, then left with the bus and the rest of the group. She called me in a panic about an hour later, asking where we were. I explained the situation calmly. She called me 2 days later. No,
Yeah, that's what she's like.
She called me the next business day.
She got angry and said that I had one job and that I cheated her out of the money she paid to go on that day trip. She missed the whole day trip and was furious the next day. Later, she told the rest of the group that I abandoned her and also called my agency, leaving a bad review about me.
No.
Am I the asshole for not personally waking up a grown woman despite warning her multiple times I wouldn't? No, just knock on my door.
No, it's not going to.
No, just knock on my door, dude.
If you pay the money to travel somewhere and then do the travel guide, if you sleep past the thing, that's your decision, that's your vacation.
Exactly.
And saying, oh, you only have one job. Sorry, her job is to do the tour.
Exactly. The job
not
is
to wake
to
you
do
up.
the tour.
Other people
She's not
there.
a concierge. She's
Yeah.
not
Right.
like
She's
a
not your
butler.
mommy.
She's not your mommy.
She's not mommy. Like she has a job, and the job is not to wake you up.
Yeah.
And can I just, does it not, like, I have anxiety when I'm running late
Oh,
to
I
anything.
hate being late.
yeah.
I would rather be there, I'd rather wake up so early and, like, hate it.
Exactly.
And get to the thing on time, because I'll, like, wake up late. You know, you'll
You know
wake
that
up.
feeling when you're playing hide and go seek and you're like hiding and you like have to pee and like and that's what feeling late feels like to me.
Yes.
When I'm running late.
It frustrates me so much, but it's hard for me to talk on this because I'm someone who wakes up so early anyways. Like I love to be up early so I can chill for a second before I go do the thing.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't like being rushed. Like I feel like that starts my day off on a bad day, but especially when I'm traveling, I'm so focused on one thing. The one focus is to be there and be on the tours and go. So I just don't understand, like, these are the consequences of your own action. For you
Absolutely.
to blame someone else for you being late when everyone else understood the assignment, like, you're not only being disrespectful to the company, you're being disrespectful to everyone else on that trip. And so now they have to start the day by getting a talking to about not being late, even though they were not late.
Right.
It's just so inconsiderate. And
Right.
like, to be like, oh, can you help me wake up? It's like, no, you're an adult. Be an adult,
Set
grow
alive.
up, and take the responsibility to wake up on time. If you are late, you are late, and that is the consequence.
They also give the 10-minute oops, you had to do a morning shit.
Exactly,
block.
yeah. Sometimes you're late because you have to shit.
Right, and that's okay. I've been
okay.
I'll go, hey, Alexcina, Jonathan, I'm gonna be about 10 minutes late today.
Big
We
poopy
know why
today.
I'm late. It happened at home and not in the office, and that's okay.
And that's, yeah.
That's okay. 10 minutes is fine.
100%.
And it's just this woman blows me away.
Cause yeah, like she waited it was an hour, and she's like,
To
"Where
call-
are you guys?"
where are you guys?
I'm like, "So you're expecting everyone to lose an hour of their day trip
Right.
for you,
Right.
Because you can't wake up."
Well, and it's like, I've never been on a cruise, but cruises are similar, right? It's like when they like dock at like an island
yeah, if
or
you
whatever.
don't show back
they're
up.
like, you better show up at 3 p.m. or the
you're
boat's
stranded
leaving
at
you
the place.
behind.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine the logistical nightmare. I'd rather be there an hour before than even 5 minutes late.
100%.
Yeah.
And
To be
if we-
stranded in a place
I don't wanna
without my shit?
I don't want to be stranded in a
Yeah.
place.
And I also understand, like, when I'm late by my own mistakes, I'm pissed off. And it's like, but you can't redirect that. You can't,
No.
like, justify it. You have to be like, yeah, I f***ed up, and I'm mad
Yeah.
at myself.
Of course.
She doesn't know how to be mad at herself.
Yeah.
She's mad, and she clearly never in her life learned how to, like, handle that.
What
So
is
she
this?
just throws it out everywhere
Yeah,
else.
I think accountability in general is really hard to like face when you're like, oh, I f***ed up. Like it was
Yeah.
my fault. And so I think the natural reaction is to like force it on someone else and be like, no, it was your fault. But like, learn how to take accountability, grow up, set an alarm, set 20 alarms. Like, and maybe
also,
there's
them
other.
calling you is them waking you up.
Exactly. And either way, if there's multiple factors or if there's like a medical thing or like whatever, like no one forced you on this trip, on this solo trip, like you're also wasting your money if you aren't like totally committed to the bit.
Right. Whatever's going on, she has to prepare herself to work for the greater tour of
You
everyone
have
else.
to take care of yourself.
It's like, yeah.
Comments. This woman could have also requested a wake-up call from her hotel. Yes. Someone said, I'm an avid traveler. I'd be angry to sit on the bus every morning waiting on someone who is chronically late. Time is money, and she'd be wasting mine. If she's worried about hers, she needs to set an alarm. If she complained to other guests, I guarantee you they weren't feeling bad for her, not the asshole. Someone said, did anyone notice that the tardy tourist was asking OP to knock on her door 15 minutes after the scheduled departure time? Which would mean, if they were still asleep, even longer waiting time? Not the asshole.
Yeah, she's not fully clothed with a coffee in her hand in bed, ready to go. Let's go.
A small little update.
Oh.
I talked to my manager today. I was nervous at first because I was already tired of this whole shenanigan and didn't want to spend ages defending myself. So I went to him first and explained the situation before he approached me. He told me word for word, "Hun, I deleted that BS from my email as soon as I read it. LOL, an icon. They'll remove the bad review."
Yes, we love
Good.
a like customers always right, not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Psych.
You know?
Yeah. I've never been to Italy, but a tour in Italy sounds great.
Sarah's never been either.
Yeah.
Never ever.
Never.
No, we're all gonna go. Oh my gosh, a dream for all of us to go to Italy together and Claudio
That'd be
turn
amazing.
tour us around. Oh my god, it's gonna be so fun.
Claudio could be our Bulgarian tourist.
He
I'll
has
show
to
up
have
on
a
time.
Bulgarian accent the whole time.
Yeah, he can do that.
He could do that.
He could do that. Yeah. Anyway, I hope What's-Her-Face gets some good sleep.
And I will be waking up at 10 a.m. no matter what.
That's not possible for you. Don't even
I
don't
can't.
even joke.
I can't.
No, we'll be up at 5:30.
You guys I'll be knocking on cafe doors like, open up.
And Italy does not start moving until like 10 or 11 a.m.
I'm up way too early. They're like, you
there's
need to slow
nothing
down.
Sleep.
gonna be going on.
All right. Our next story comes from relationship advice.
Okay.
It's about a year old. My boyfriend, 32-year-old man, threatened to break up with me on a Harry Potter marathon night that I, a 29-year-old woman, planned because he was embarrassed and would rather drink at the club.
At the club.
At the
Drink
club.
at the club.
Yesterday was his birthday. We are both Harry Potter fans, but I'm more into it, and he likes golfing and cars more than I do. Yesterday morning, I asked him if he wanted to go out somewhere, and I told him that I'm planning on a surprise tonight. He didn't ask anything further and left for work. During the evening, I had set the sofas, spread the blankets, arranged the coffee table, fluffed all the pillows, and warmed up the place. I made, damn, okay.
She bought an owl.
I learned magic.
Yeah.
I made pizza at home for the first time and made smoothies. I brought all kinds of sweets and made mini Harry Potter-like candies with them. I had got this idea from those reels and had always told him that I wanted to try it out. He didn't see my message till around 9:30 p.m. and arrived at 10 p.m. I didn't mind it much, but told him that I had everything prepared and that we could snuggle up and watch together. He told me that he was tired and didn't want to do it. So I tried requesting him to sit with me for at least one movie. He somehow agreed. He ate the pizza, but didn't try any of those mini candied structures I made. And then, when we were comfortable enough, the broomstick scene came on, and I tell him how I used to have a crush on Draco as a kid. He suddenly got up from there, and I nearly hit my head on the sofa board. He told me it was embarrassing for me to be obsessing over Harry Potter as an adult, that his friends' girlfriends are more mature than me and are actually planning their lives ahead. I didn't know how me liking Harry Potter related to that, because I barely ever talked to him about Harry Potter much before. He just walked away after that, and I let him. When I don't come to bed, he tells me I have horrible taste for even crushing on Tom Felton, and that he looks like a sulking cow now. All right.
LOL.
What hurt me most was that he didn't even taste the sweets I made or even lie down with me for at least an hour. I would have been okay to even change the movie or shut it down, and when I tried suggesting, he just kept shaking his head. He told me to fix my ways before he gets fed up and leaves me for good.
Oh my
and
God.
that he denied a really good offer to drink at the bar with his friends. It's morning and I haven't talked to him yet. He just left without even looking at me. I might be at fault here for not taking his interests into much consideration. I just thought we would like it because I would show him stuff like that and he always admired it. I feel kind of hurt. The pizza I made was also his favorite, but he didn't seem to show much for it. I don't know if I may be overreacting. I don't know if it's right for me to love this series anymore. It had been part of my childhood and I grew up with it. We have been together for 3 years now.
Woo!
All right. there's a lot of
There's a lot of layers.
to this. So it is the boyfriend's birthday.
Yes.
So she plans a Harry Potter marathon for his birthday.
Just the two of them.
Just the two of them.
Starting at 9:30.
Starting at 9:30
You'll be up
So you're
till
going
6 a.m.
Yeah, watching Harry Potter.
And he likes golfing in cars more than I do.
Does that mean she also likes golfing in car? I need some red string
This is a little
now.
confusing. Yeah.
I think the gist is it feels like she's more of a Harry Potter fan than he is.
So she made like a Harry Potter night for his birthday, which I could see. Now, here's the thing, though.
And they live together.
They live together.
Right.
So it's like, okay. But he seems to like blast off on her in
a
ways
crazy other
that
way.
are confusing, where he's mad at her for liking Draco Malfoy.
Right. Now-
and then he insults Tom Felton. It's like, hey,
Which we don't. Hey.
Tom Felton.
Hey, whoa.
Tom Felton does not need to catch a stray here.
Right. Okay.
I mean, maybe a little.
Base.
Like, if he started going after J.K. Rowling, I'd be like, okay, fair.
Okay, do it.
Like, I thought that was going to be the angle. He's like, well, I don't like J.K. Rowling. She's a piece of shit. It's like, okay, fair.
Okay, let's
fair
throw
assessment.
a party about
That's
that.
not what he said, though.
No.
Right.
So we're like, what's going on? Either OP is leaving out tons of history of
Yes.
like, wait, what's the pattern here?
Yeah,
Because you're
yeah.
talking, I also say, she's like, we've been dating for 3 years. You're talking about your interests as if you're not really sure what you guys are into.
But I also
And I'm
think
like,
Shouldn't you know? At
there's
that
a
point?
little entitlement of her making it like her TikTok
Special night?
Harry Potter movie night kind
this
of
feels
situation.
like her birthday.
Exactly.
In reading the story, I forgot that it was his birthday. I thought it was hers.
So I feel like especially if you're in a relationship that long, but any birthday planning, like I always ask the birthday person,
What do you wanna do?
What do you want to do? You want to go out to
What's
the
your
club?
ideal thing?
You
Yeah.
want to like stay in? Do you want to do nothing? Do you want a small group, a big group?
Do you want me
like
to build you candy structures?
yeah, exactly. And if the person's like, I'm down for whatever, but I want to just stay home or whatever. Like, I think when it comes to people's birthdays, everyone approaches it in such a different manner. For you to make a surprise like this so focused on your interests,
Yeah.
it like already is a tough situation.
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting. And he did get invites to go hang out with friends, but it's like, did she ask? We don't have a lot of
Exactly.
info
Some-
on like
a lot of
what was the
stuff's
planning
missing.
process of this.
Yeah.
There's a little bit
So
of like,
a lot of confusing stuff. This all would have been solved if she just made it a Lord of the Rings watch party,
okay.
because it's just far superior. It's just far better. Pretty much anything. Comments. I know you feel bad, but sis, you practically planned a night for you, not for his birthday.
Exactly.
OP says, I honestly wouldn't mind if that means spending time with him. OP, what?
Does that mean she's
I
not?
think she speaks in riddles.
She's like, I just want to spend time with him. But maybe you could have spent time at the club with the drinking if that's what he wanted to do.
You can spend time with him if you
Right.
make it for him.
Exactly.
Right. Bring a cloak and a scarf if you have to.
But it's also like, I'll say, okay, there's so much going on too, like him picking a fight about like multiple
How
random
he's-
things. No one's in the clear here.
I think it's my takeaway is, this communication has been so bad for so long. You guys don't like each other, and you have not come to terms with it
Exactly.
yet. The boyfriend could be mad because of the way this birthday was planned for her and not for him, but he's expressing it in he's expressing it horribly. Like,
Yeah.
I
he's
don't
not
feel seen because this is more about you. Instead, he's like,
Exactly.
I
Yes.
think you're stupid.
I hate
J.K.
Tom
Malfoy's
Felton.
ugly.
Yeah.
He's ugly.
You're ugly. You bad taste.
He has blonde hair. You want me to get blonde hair now?
Yeah, it's like, so you're calling me a whore? Someone else said, maybe he'll take you for 18 holes of golf and a car show for your birthday.
That's awesome.
Got him.
Someone says, as a 13-year-old man, he may like Harry... Sorry, what did I
You said 13-year-old
say? As a
man.
13-year-old man. As a 32-year-old man, he may like Harry Potter, but his idea of a birthday surprise is not a Harry Potter marathon.
Exactly.
You sound very entitled. He didn't even taste the sweets I made or even lie down with me for at least an hour. He feels you have different ideas and wants a more grown-up evening. There may be more issues at heart for him, too. I feel this is the final straw sort of incident. You need to sit down and have a calm conversation with him.
I don't like grown-up evening though. Why did that make me mad? Because I think like there's nothing wrong with
None
having
of this is wrong if it's what he wanted.
like
Exactly.
childlike joy. There's nothing wrong with
a
like
movie
Exactly.
marathon is
Disney adults like.
yeah.
But like
You're
I think
allowed
there's
to
nothing
have
around that,
joy.
but the communication. It's just
Yes.
the
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
We don't need to limit anything. It's just about doing what he wants for his birthday.
Right. And yes, and the comment does point out, like, she's upset because of what he's not doing
Exactly.
on his
Yeah,
birthday.
exactly.
It's like, hey, this wasn't your night.
He didn't like his birthday the way I wanted him to like it.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Moving on. Our next story comes from Am I the Buttface? This is posted in 2019.
That's real?
There's another one. Am I the Buttface?
What is that
there's just
for?
a bunch of
Is that the Christian one? Because they don't
That's-
want to say asshole.
Not necessarily. They all just have slightly different rules on like what can be posted.
So what's butt face?
What's my face? Shit out your mouth?
Yeah, probably. Because
Shit out your mouth?
I know
Shit out your mouth?
I know the OG Am I the Asshole subreddit. It's not allowed to do with relationships. Like it has weird mod rules. So then other ones are made.
Butt face is no eyes, no nose.
Exactly. Well,
Two cheeks.
the butthole is the nose,
Ew.
which is
And
awful.
that's new.
It just smells.
And I've never thought of that way.
And it just smells bad all the time. All right. This comes from Am I the Buttface 2019. Would I be the buttface if I demanded to know who reported me to HR?
Butt face?
Buttface?
I want
am-
to take this seriously, but butt face is
I
so
just
hard.
can't.
I know. I am in my early 30s and male. In our office, I am known as a bit of a jokester.
Oh.
Nothing mean, and I don't go out of my way to prank someone or hurt anyone's feelings, but I have plenty of jokes and give lots of silly nicknames.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
I'm kind of a jokester.
I know. I saw you turned into it
I
immediately.
give silly nicknames. There is a newer woman in our office. She's in her early 20s and she has a 3-year-old. They live in an RV park a few miles away from work, and I've nicknamed her RV Reba.
No.
I didn't see the harm. It's just a silly nickname. I've given silly nicknames to most of my coworkers. If anyone complains about it, I just explain I don't mean anything by it. It's just a silly thing I do, and there was no reason for them to be offended. RV...
I like how he's like, no offense.
Yeah.
No offense, RV Reba.
You shall-
RV Reba.
Shall take no offense.
Yeah.
They continue. RV Reba wasn't thrilled with the nickname, said it was insulting, but I explained it wasn't intended to be. It was just something silly I came up with. She asked me to stop using it. I don't use it around her much anymore, but I think it's a silly thing to get upset about, so I still use it around others. Well, someone reported me to HR. I got called into a meeting this morning and given a written warning to stop harassing my coworkers. I don't see how this is harassing at all. They're silly nicknames. I asked who reported me, and they said it was not just one person, but multiple complaints. RV Reba and a few others were getting coffee.
It's just like every time.
And I wanted to know who reported me. RV Reba said she didn't know, but was glad they spoke to me about it since I wasn't listening to them asking me to stop. I think it was probably her and one of the 2 other coworkers who can never take a joke. I want to know exactly who it was, though. A few coworkers said I'm already the buttface and should let it go, but I really want to know who reported me. Would I be the buttface if I demanded to know who it was? I just love it says verdict, buttface.
Well, yes, he is the butt face.
Yeah, Fedora Fred, you are the butt face.
Yeah, you're the buttface.
I think legally you aren't entitled to know who reported you to HR.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're the butt face for demanding it.
If
Like,
multiple
that's
people
just
say-
not gonna happen.
Yeah, if multiple people are like, you suck, stop doing that. You should not do that.
This is very classic, like, it's a joke, I'm just joking.
Right.
I'm just joking
That
around.
doesn't like wash you of your
It doesn't
sins.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
Or
disqualify the
even
joke.
like how people can feel about a certain nickname or a certain joke. Like,
Right.
ever heard of empathy? Ever heard of
Yeah.
compassion? Ever heard of respect? Like,
It's true even for our workspace where our job is telling jokes and being silly, right? We're expected to be silly all the time. Now, even here, if someone goes, hey, I don't like that joke.
Exactly.
We go, all right, we won't say that.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
but they're in, I'm assuming, a workspace where telling jokes is not part of the job.
but even
You're
like,
not even expected to tell jokes, man. Like, don't, like, tell jokes, that's fine, but if someone tells you to stop, you have to
better stop.
You're not expected to be making people laugh.
But even if we like drill it down to like what it is, it's not even like a ba-dum-bum joke. It is a nickname, and like you shouldn't give nicknames to people that
have names already.
It's also
but
straight
it's also
up
you're not friends.
Also, if we're gonna talk about giving nicknames, horrible nickname.
Horrible nickname.
RV Reba? That's you assigned their location and then their name.
Well, she's a single mom that works 2 jobs. Like, come on. That's so
That's true.
heavy, like what
RV
he's
Reba.
saying. And it's also like she just started a new job. She's young. She's trying to like being a woman in the workplace is also very hard. She's trying to like make a name for herself in the place. Like whenever
and the name is not RV
and
Reba.
it's not RV Reba.
Yeah.
And I think that's just so condescending and weird and off-putting. Like, absolutely should be reported to HR and absolutely should quit this shit. Like, you are not hired to make silly jokes on the job.
Right.
Like, be a professional, be respectful,
Yeah.
especially to women. Like,
Right.
it's just so beyond me that he thinks like, oh, I'm just being silly. And it's like, did anyone hire you to be silly?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, because your explanation makes it sound like she's a little bit more of an RV Brockovich, you know?
We'll cut that.
But I will say, like, I've been lucky that I've worked in workplaces that, like, even if I am, like, there's a joke that goes too far or something like that, I am the type of person that's like, hey, can you, like, not joke about that?
Yeah.
And everyone's been very, like, nice about it. And I've always
Yeah.
worked in these, like, creative video
Right.
fields, so sometimes the lines get blurred. And so the fact that, like, having to ask more than once or even just, like, to explain why it's inappropriate, it's just, like, it's just beyond me. Like, we're adults here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if it's because in our creative fields, I mean, no, I hear horror stories about it in our fields too, but I feel like working at Smosh, like, inevitably we run into this so often, right?
Yeah,
like,
Of course. I mean, it's
not even amongst
comedy.
ourselves, but just in our videos where we go like, oh, we did something that we won't say that again, or like,
Yep.
oh, that didn't
That
hit.
didn't look
like, you know,
good or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I feel like it's just part of our job. So we just have so much experience with it, not to like take it so personally when it's like, hey, just don't say that. Like, learn the behavior now.
Right. Someone saying, I don't like that you say that, or like, I don't like that, doesn't mean that, like, I mean, maybe not this guy, but that doesn't mean like you're a bad person or I hate you now. It's
Yeah.
just like, hey, I'm drawing a line right there for that thing, and that's it. And you just go, great, I won't do that anymore. Let's
Right.
have fun elsewhere.
Right.
It's
And
easy.
I think, what is he going to do with that information? If they
Right.
name names, which they're not going to because they have to protect who did the report, like what then?
He's gonna pursue them?
create a
Corner 'em?
hostile interaction.
Yeah.
He's going to retaliate. He's
Yeah, what
gonna,
are you gonna
like,
do?
be mean to that person. Like, grow up.
Yeah. He also is clearly like lacking self-awareness
Yeah.
of, hey, like nicknames, jokes, it's one thing, but you are a man in your 30s and she is a young woman in her early 20s who is new to this job. And so, like, you have to understand how this is going to come across. Like, she's in a place where she probably feels scared to speak up for herself.
Well, she's
Right.
new too.
She's new.
Yeah,
And like the
yeah,
last thing you want to
exactly.
do as a new person is like ruffle the feathers and like be like feel like it's hostile. It's a
Yeah.
very
They're
tough
stuck there.
situation.
She's in a hard spot.
They're
Yeah.
stuck there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, make this easy for them. Like,
Exactly. And we've all met people that like kind of don't know when to stop joking, even
Right.
if they
Right.
like even if they're not funny. Like
Especially,
they
yeah.
just like, I wish I had that confidence. But like we've all been around those people, and I think it is a very difficult situation to sit them down and be like, hey,
Totally.
I get you think you're silly, but this is not silly goose time. This is
Yeah.
like, just be a professional.
And HR did their job here, which is to just lay something out as straightforward as possible.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, stop.
Yep.
Yep.
We're asking you to stop doing this thing.
We've had reports and end it.
Comments. I think you know you're the butt face. Your jokes aren't amusing to others. This has been explicitly spelled out to you multiple times from the sound of it. Therefore, you should have already stopped. If others aren't laughing, it's not funny. If it's not funny, it's not a joke. If it's not a joke, your continued behavior is harassment. Stop it before you quite rightly lose your job. Someone said, you are the butt face, massively. You zero in on something that someone finds embarrassing and repeatedly point it out to all and sundry. You say it's just a laugh, but plainly not for Reba. I'm glad your colleagues reported you. You sound like a horrible person to have around. Someone said, you're the asshole and insulting. What's wrong with you? You are not funny. You don't get to demand anything. You can request, you can be told no. You do not get to decide what people want or like to be called. You do not get to decide what someone feels about anything. With multiple people complaining, I'm shocked you're not in more trouble. What you're doing is harassment and bullying. You're at a place of work. Be more mature and professional.
Yep.
Damn.
That's
yeah.
right.
I also think like I've been in relationships and dynamics mostly with like a male and me where like if you do say your boundaries or you're like, hey, that's not funny or hey, they go, it's a joke. So I think it's like if your response is it's a joke, like that itself needs to be like a self-reflection thing because you're also like brushing off that person's emotions. And like I've been in that situation kind of gaslit of like, it's just a joke. Why are you taking it so seriously? And you're like, well, I'm kind of like not feeling great after you said that thing.
Right.
And that's the issue.
Yeah. And like we work in comedy and we know like jokes there's like a reality to it.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You can't just say like, oh, well, it's just all silly and there's no implications, there's no meaning behind it. It's like all jokes have some reality to it. How much of it is to be determined, but it's a very privileged position as a guy to just be like, oh, it's just fine, it's whatever. It's like, yeah, because you're not threatened in this place.
Exactly.
Where she's scared. She doesn't know you.
Exactly.
All right. Our next story comes from Am I Overreacting? It's a new one. It's only like a month or so old. Am I overreacting? Girlfriend threw away the dinner I cooked because she wanted pizza instead.
Oh. What shitty
I cooked you
dish.
dinner.
I want pizza.
Pizza!
I want pizza. Pizza.
Girlfriend texted me earlier. I'm too tired and frustrated to even respond. I was trying to do something nice for her and surprise her with something she said she really liked, but apparently she wasn't in the mood for it. I feel pretty tired of trying in general. I guess I didn't really ask her what she wanted tonight for dinner, but I still feel pretty angry. Text messages between OP and girlfriend. So the girlfriend texts him, hey, when is your break? Can you pick up a pizza so I have something to eat tonight? OP responds, no, babe, I made the wine braised short ribs you said last night were your favorite. I got up early to cook them. You just have to pull them from the pot. There's that and the small s'mores cake I made for Wednesday since there's extra and I figured you'd want some. Okay, so he made wine braised short ribs.
Yeah.
And there's s'mores cake.
Okay, Martha.
Girlfriend responds, I don't really want that though. Can you just grab a pizza on your break? We can eat that stuff later.
That stuff.
That stuff. OP says, no, I'm locked in for the night. What's wrong with the short ribs? You literally just told me it was your favorite thing, so I made it special for you. Kind of sucks. Well, I tried it, and it came out kind of gross anyway, so I'm tossing it. Can you ask to leave for a bit and stop by a Papa John's or something? I just want stuffed crust. What do you mean gross? You tossed it? As in, like, threw it away? It just tasted bad. I don't know what to tell you. It wasn't eatable. It's not a big deal. I just need to eat something tonight for dinner, though. Did you ask? Dude, what the f***? That was expensive meat. Why would you throw it away? I already told you I'm not leaving work. Well, I don't know what you expect me to do. It's simple as f***. Just order a pizza then if you're busy. Like, I have to eat something. Hello? Places are closing soon. I'm busy at work. I don't want to talk about it right now. Please figure it out. We'll talk later. She says, seriously, you're gonna be this much of an asshole over this? I didn't ask you to cook anything. If you can't deal with the basics of being a supportive partner, then it should be something I consider and find someone who will support me.
Whoa! Oh. Huh?
Dude.
Oh, no.
Why can't she order the pizza?
I think that's
going
my
on?
confusion. That's my confusion. Why can't she get the Papa John's?
Can't, dude.
With the little pepper.
I can't do
Can't.
it. I can't do it. I can't do
Clearly
it.
she has her phone.
Forgot how, yeah, you have your phone in your hand.
You have
Literally.
your phone in your hands. Like, get it delivered at your workplace and just, like, heat it back up or something.
Oh
or, like,
my God.
Stop and get, like, a frozen pizza. I feel like there's a lot of, like, problem solving.
Places
that
are
could be done
closing
here.
soon. Papa John's is open forever. You can get, if there's one thing you can get at
It's
any
Papa
time,
It's pizza.
you can find a pizza somewhere. I don't know where you live, but like you could probably find a pizza. And if not, there's short ribs. She's at home. She threw the short ribs away.
I think that's a little brutal to say, like, over text. Like, I feel like, I don't even know where to begin with this story. There's so much. I'm like, line by line, let's go. This is a lot. This is a lot.
This is ridiculous.
Okay, so-
this is where it goes beyond like needing, like, if I knew this guy, I'm like, we don't need to talk about this, man.
Yeah, no, it's like,
I'd be like, man, look in the mirror.
Like,
Yeah, let's
everybody
take a
sit
second.
down,
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
a breath.
yeah.
How long, did they say how long they were together for?
No, but like, we don't get much before the text messages.
So who posted this?
The boyfriend posted this, and he posted all the screenshots of the text messages, and yeah. The verdict's not overreacting, by the way.
Right, of course.
Of course. We probably get some more in the comments. Let's
Yeah,
go
let's
to the
see that.
comments.
Yeah.
You really shouldn't be dating a teenager. I can't comprehend this person being an adult. Sarcasm aside, get the hell out of this relationship. You want to spend the next 40 years or whatever with someone who throws homemade meals in the garbage, demands pizza from a chain restaurant, and is seemingly incapable of ordering delivery herself, and is rude as f to you? Dude, there's so many red flags in this exchange that you could open up an Etsy store selling used red flags and become a multimillionaire.
Okay. Okay.
Fedora time!
Okay. Okay, stand-up comedian.
OP responds to that, though.
Oh.
And says, not sure why I can't edit to add more information on mobile, but I'm borrowing the top comment to answer some questions. She lost her card last week while hanging out with some friends and had to cancel her accounts. She's using mine until her new one comes in the mail. I have not gotten to eat any of the prepared food. Cooking is my love language. I think I mostly just feel heartbroken at this point, and that's why I've decided to just finish work tonight and talk to her in the morning about it.
Yeah.
Dude, my God. She sounds useless.
It's his love language.
I know, but that's what my gut.
I'm like,
I was thinking,
oh my
like maybe their
God.
love languages are like off, and then there's also no consideration.
She
for
threw
each
it
other's-
out, though.
She
Threw it out is crazy.
Throwing it out before even asking.
Before he gets to eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a breakup moment.
And I'm thinking like maybe a stew or whatever is savable.
A stew's always savable.
I feel like
you
a
had more of the
stew-
other stuff. You had more of the other stuff.
I don't
Exactly.
believe her that she tried it.
No. He wanted a pizza.
Pizza.
It's not eatable.
Eatable.
I was like,
Eatable.
that's all I need.
It's
Look,
not eatable.
I mispronounce stuff all the time, but no.
And he works quickly. She said it last night and he cooked it this morning. Damn.
I know. She could have at least sent a text like, hey, babe, I appreciate you cooking dinner, but it wasn't my favorite. Can we order
Exactly.
something else instead?
Exactly.
There was no appreciation shown, and just throwing it away was rude, especially if you liked it. I honestly probably would have just ordered myself something else to eat and told you later that I didn't like it, etc. Your feelings are valid. Update.
Oh.
Yes.
Yay.
After spending the morning at a friend's house, I went ahead and just went back to our apartment. I haven't really slept, honestly, with how anxious I've been. Basically, I went back to the apartment. She was there scrolling on her phone. I went ahead and just came out with it and explained to her that I can't keep trying to make things work with someone who doesn't care about what I do for them. She started to cry and told me it's just the way her brain works and it's not her fault. She said she's trying in therapy and that she feels like she doesn't deserve to be loved. I
Oh
more
no.
or less
Oh, Jesus
no.
Christ.
Oh no. I gotta go home
I
now.
more or less followed up and explained to her I can't be the one to keep dealing with her when she treats me like garbage. She basically got angry as hell at this point and told me I never cared and I never really tried or I wouldn't just leave over something so stupid. She broke a glass I kept from growing up.
No, come on.
She broke a glass I kept from growing up that was sitting on our counter by throwing it on the ground, at which point I just stopped talking. I spent an hour with her yelling and begging me while I grabbed things I have that are valuable. I'm just going to disappear for a bit at my friend's. I need to figure out what to do about the rent and stuff since we have a month until renewal. I know it's not really all that crazy of an update, but
Not
Yeah.
that crazy. She's
But
throwing things.
But I wanted to just get in and out and be done after thinking about it and being ready to move on from being unhappy. I appreciate everyone's comments, and to the people who reached out, I'll be honest, I feel like I've wasted a ton of my life trying to help a broken person, and it's just equal parts depressing while also a feeling of being empty and tired. I'm going to try my best to make things better in my life and only give people who appreciate me and the stuff that I do.
That's the whole point.
Yeah,
that last
man.
sentence.
You can't be down on yourself for trying, for doing that thing of like trying to help someone. I know we all have the thing of like you can't, they have to help themselves. You can't be the person, but it's
Right.
like I feel like it's a canon event for most people to be in a relationship with someone who is like this,
Yeah.
who has
Yes.
probably some wonderful positive things,
Yeah.
but then has these other things that
Yeah,
are
yeah.
hard to deal with.
It's a pairing that happens, I think, so often, and it's because when you know the source of someone's toxic traits,
Exactly.
you go, well, I know why they're that way.
Right.
But at a certain point, you kind of have to be like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Yeah,
change.
exactly.
Because here we are right now, and you're throwing
breaking
a glass.
my glass.
You're breaking glass on the floor,
Threw
and
my shit
I
away.
can't be here for that.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Jeez.
I think it's also too like you kind of like I think I'm a natural optimist, but I think in relationship everyone is a natural optimist. So you're just like, you know, maybe they had a bad day. You're being very compassionate.
Yep.
You're being very, very empathetic, but there is a point in relationships where you can also go, this is just not gonna work.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's like I still care for the person.
Of course.
There's still emotions there. Like he's probably going through some heartbreak too, but like. At some point, you got to be like, this is not my mess to fix.
Right.
And this is also not my person that I want to like continue with. And so you kind of have to like break the cycle. So sometimes little things like this break it, where
And
you're like,
God,
holy shit.
When the cycle breaks.
You're like, oh my God.
I'm like, finally, I'm free.
Frontal lobes are connecting
Yeah,
and
it just goes like,
snapping, and you're
Zorp.
like, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah.
And then like 6 months later, when it's just a story, because everything you do turns into just a story, you're like,
Right.
holy shit, thank God I got out when
Exactly.
I did, because like
Exactly.
that's just not a mess that I had to clean up.
Right.
Especially when this is my life as well.
And you look
too.
back and you go, there's no way I could have ever clicked. Like, there was
Exactly.
no
Right.
chance of me ever doing that.
Exactly.
And you know, I've been in situations where I look back and I go, oh, I was never gonna help this person.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
Like by just
Being there
by
and
just
supporting.
you know, being part of the toxic. They're doing their toxic things, and I'm tolerating it.
Right.
Like, what's gonna happen here? No, we have to leave.
We have to leave it.
And there's guilt. I think there's like when you're that person that's like finally making the call and witnessing all this stuff happen, like as he's packing up and she's crying and begging, like you're feeling guilty because you're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I am like quitting this thing. But like some things are worth quitting and
Right.
some things are worth walking away.
Right.
And relationships are like, if you're in a bad relationship, it is so like, and not even bad, a wrong relationship, like it's
Yeah.
painful as
painful.
hell. I'd
Yeah.
much rather be by myself figuring out than
Right.
being in like a situation like that.
Right.
So like, he's making a good call, not only for him, but for her as well, because she has growth to do too. Saying I'm unlovable, it's like that's taking
That was
the,
a
again,
manipulation tactic.
exactly. Taking
Yeah.
the accountability out of it because it's
Right.
like, you unlovable, you just crashed a glass from my childhood on the floor.
Are you trying to prove your own point?
Exactly. Like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy at
Kinda,
that
yeah.
point.
Like, exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
God, I mean,
it's painful.
honestly,
I feel bad, but
for both of them in a
Yeah.
way, you know? It's
but,
like,
but he is making the right move by getting out of
And
it.
sometimes the chemistry of like two people like that is just like a bad situation. Like
Totally.
I've not been perfect in relationships either,
Sure.
and just that chemistry is often
sometimes you have two people that don't
it's
that
just
don't
like
mix
yeah,
right.
It's like the volcano experiment, like baking
Yeah,
soda and the like
exactly.
vinegar. It's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it's just like this is not my best.
And I don't know. We don't know.
You're like, I'm not bringing my A
like-
game.
it's like,
I'm bringing
I'm
my
bringing my
crazy
hydrogen
game.
peroxide
Yeah.
to this.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't know their ages, but I do think it sounds like she sounds very young.
Yeah.
Maybe she's not, but she's coming
I've met
across.
some people
but I'm
who are
glad that
older.
she's in therapy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the therapist would probably be glad to know, like, hey, yeah, that relationship should not be happening, like, especially if this is the type of behavior she's eliciting.
Yeah.
But I'm hopeful, like, you know, like if she genuinely puts work in, which it sounds like she needs to still do, but
Yeah. You won't ever find that like answer to like, am I unlovable in another person?
Nope.
Like you gotta like RuPaul. What does RuPaul say? You gotta love yourself first.
how the hell are you gonna love somebody else?
Yeah, exactly. If you don't love yourself, and like that's 100% it. Is
It's
like
true.
if you don't find the reasons why you would fall in love with you, like it's just never. It's gonna be an endless source of failed relationships.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Well, I hope for the best for the both of them.
Same.
But
And they will.
But yeah.
They will. I'm very optimistic. If they do
Yeah.
the work, they will.
Right. All right. Moving on to our last story.
Wow.
This comes from Relationship Advice, comes from 2022. I, a 25-year-old woman, begged my partner, a 28-year-old man, for an open relationship. 8 months in, he left.
For another woman?
Oh,
For someone else? Oh,
maybe.
this
Okay,
cliffhanger.
so I have read so many stories on Reddit. We don't read a lot of these types of ones here, but I have read so many stories and heard so many stories about
Polly.
people in monogamous relationships asking for poly relationships and then it backfiring on them.
Yes.
I've heard about that so much. It's also similar. There are so many stories on Reddit about people having threesomes and then the aftermath of it. And it's they are crazy stories.
This is a wild one to end with.
This is nuts. 8 months ago, I, a 25-year-old woman, asked my partner, a 28-year-old man, for an open relationship as I got bored with him.
Oh.
Nothing wrong, but he just didn't excite me much. And he agreed, but he proceeded to tell me there's a catch. If he catches feelings for a partner, he's going to leave me for her.
Oh. This is like a...
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah, you want to do this?
Yeah, oh, you want someone else?
Yeah, and then if I someone real good, I go...
So he said if he catches feelings for a partner, he's going to leave me for her. And that's exactly what happened.
Well, he said it was gonna happen.
And she was bored with him.
And she continues, I want him back in my arms. He left me for his new partner. What can I do to win the love of my life back?
Time machine,
Love
baby.
of the life.
Time machine.
Love of your life? Oh, I thought he bored you.
I thought he was boring, dude.
Look, man, that's not
That's the
a
whole
reason.
thing?
That's not a reason to get into an open relationship. Like that. Come on, man.
Wait, that's the whole thing?
So that's. I will say there's an update.
Oh, okay.
But that's
What
the
do we wanna
main
talk about?
story.
That is the post.
Okay, so
she
it's like a
posted that being
paragraph.
like, guys,
I was bored.
I was bored, so I wanted an open relationship.
So I will open up a relationship.
And
He
then
told
he
me
left
exactly
me.
what
And
would
then
happen, and
he
it
told me-
happened.
And he
Like
did the
bold
thing.
move on him to be like, well, all right.
Because I've also heard of people like requesting an open relationship, but they have like different rules of like you can't go on more than one date with a person. So it's like basically like you have an open door to do like one night stands.
From what I
Right.
know of people who have open relationships, it is like everything is an agreed upon thing. Like
Exactly,
you have
you
to
have to.
really lay it out. But it's also the people that I know that it seems to be working with. It's like they both got into a poly relationship.
Yeah, it was like that was
to
from
be
the
in
get-go.
a monogamous relationship and then be like, let's open our relationship.
That does not work.
It's
usually.
Yeah.
at least for anecdotally from everyone I know
Same.
that I'm like, no, one of you wanted to cheat, or you were already cheating, and this is your way into
Justification.
it. It's like, no, if
Yeah.
you want to be poly, I think you need to end your relationship and go
And then
find
start
a poly relationship.
on even grounds. Yeah.
But like to go from monogamous to poly, both of you probably have different ideas of it. You're both going into a new thing to like at the same time. Your ideas of it are so different.
You're starting
probably.
a new relationship.
Yeah,
kind of,
like
you know.
Yeah.
and then it didn't work out. This new type of relationship didn't work for you.
Yeah, I've never explored open relationship. Claudio and I are monogamous, but we've had this conversation a lot, and not just to like go through the exercise, right?
Just to be like, what would that be like if we did that?
Exactly. And to me, it's like it's not even like if we're doubling the relationship, it's double the work. I think it's like exponential. I think it's like if we were to have an open relationship, it's not double the work. It's almost like triple the work because it's like it's just exponentially. The communication needs to go, the dynamics between all the different things, the like nights out, like that. There's a lot involved. That there's like a social responsibility in those dynamics to put a lot of work into it.
It's a massive change, and if you're making that change, it's got to be like, oh, this is something so deep in me.
Yeah.
That this is who I am and this is what I want. Not just, oh, I got bored with my partner.
I think it sounds
be out
fun.
of that. Yeah.
It does sound fun. In fluffy world, it's like,
Of
oh
course.
yeah, I get to smooch the cuties over there.
And go home to my love of my life.
Exactly.
Isn't that nice and beautiful?
Exactly.
Yes.
Isn't that nice and beautiful? But if you really
It's
think
like a
about
watch.
it,
It's complex inside. Okay.
See, I have too much anxiety for that shit. I'm like,
Oh,
no.
same.
Yeah.
I just think it's like what Claudio and I have like with us being together in our love is like I just love it so much. That is like an hour or two of playtime really worth all that extra hubbub to like make that worth it. I'm like, well, no. And if I'm bored, maybe in like our sex life or whatever, that's a conversation to have with my partner first before I go exploring. So
Right.
like if she was bored in the bedroom, like talk
She's
about
also
it.
blaming. She's like, I got bored with him, and it's like, hey, that's a thing.
Yeah.
But this is how you're solving it. It's like, and it's like,
Yeah,
it's also,
exactly.
you're bored with him. That may not be just him. That's you two together.
Yeah.
And
Right,
that's a dynamic.
There was a really interesting. I forget. It was in a book I read about like. You know, when you've been together for years upon years, like you have to find a way to continue the narrative.
Yes.
Right? Because when you're single and you're
Yes,
you're
and.
dating, it's like whoa,
Yeah,
all these
yeah.
exciting elements, like whoa.
Yeah.
And that's she's looking for a rush.
Yeah.
That she'll get from meeting new people.
Exactly.
But that rush will end too.
Exactly.
She's treating it like a drug where it's like you can find that rush,
Exactly.
Yeah.
but you have to work on that together.
And that's
Exactly.
creativity, communication, like
Yeah.
maybe a sex therapist. Like these things work.
totally.
They take time and
Yeah.
focus.
Not to
But she made a brash, massive decision, not considering the ramifications.
I just love that
not
he was
surprising.
like, I will leave you if I catch feelings.
Crazy move,
Do you
and he
think
did it.
he thought like that'll get her to not open up the relationship?
I think to me, it feels like he almost broke up then and there.
yeah.
Right.
Like he was like, this relationship's over.
I'll go hunting for someone else.
Comments. Comments, not gonna lie, that's the ultimate reverse card for this situation. Big ups, your ex. OP said, really?
He said exactly what he was gonna do.
Yeah, literally.
Someone said, haha, good for him. Get a therapist to help you work on yourself so you learn to end an unhealthy relationship instead of pretending to be poly. OP said, I've been in and out of therapy for at least a year now. Someone said, yes, really, you played yourself. He didn't excite you, so you asked for an open relationship, and now you want him back when he caught feelings for someone else while in the open relationship that you asked for in the first place. You only have yourself to blame for this one. You should stay single for a while and grow up. I don't want to be single. I want to prove to my boyfriend I can be better now.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
It's too late.
Update.
oh?
Probably nobody asked for this, but here's an update.
It's so aggressive.
Probably nobody asked for this.
Probably
Yeah,
no
the
one
way
asked
that
for
this
it.
person writes.
Holly, nobody asked for this.
Hey, nice.
I was kicked out of his house last Sunday. That's 6 days now, and I excruciatingly miss him. I will do anything to get him to return to me, but he looks happy on social media with his new partner that I'm pretty sure he was cheating on me with.
But you were open.
You were in an open relationship. Anyways, I tried calling him, no answer. I saw him in public, and he pretended to not even know who the I was. He won't acknowledge my existence, so I went to our former place just to talk, and things got hostile. His new girlfriend hates me for some reason. I didn't even know her, and she proceeded to try and attack me while he tried to split us up and get me out the door. When he had his back turned, she maced me, and now And now he's trying to file a restraining order on me. The hell did I do wrong? She attacked me and pepper sprayed me.
Didn't you show up at their house?
Yes, she did.
How can I convince him he's dating a psychopath?
What?
Uh-oh.
Jerry.
Oh my God.
That's wild. That's embarrassing. Is this real?
It's probably not, but I'll say this, it's probably not, but I know of these types of situations.
Yeah,
I know
fair.
of these anecdotally.
Yes.
Not of showing up and getting pepper sprayed, but of the open relationship
Right.
turned
That's
into regret, into,
that's a
no, I want
classic
you
story.
back, I'm sorry.
Classic
yeah.
story. Turner
Yeah.
classic.
Comments, you got what you wanted, and if anyone sounds like a psychopath, it's you who is stalking their ex. Seek some mental health or do some inner reflection, but most importantly, leave the man alone and move on. Stalking, I previously lived at that residence. So she was,
but
she's like, I got kicked out 6 days ago. and
Kicked out is not like I
No.
moved out. It's like this feels like Joe from You. You know how Joe from You can like rationalize every reason he like murdered every woman on that show and every person. It's like you are like out of touch with reality and perception. Like
Yeah.
you should turn actually to your closest friends and community. Hopefully they
Yeah.
can call you out on your shit because like
Bring it back home.
that
you know?
like yeah, if it's getting to like legal to mace to like separating like that woman also in the relationship with your ex had nothing to do with this. She was exploring a
She was just having a good
relationship
time.
that I
Yeah.
hope he was like open and honest about being open to. There's no reason to go after her either.
Yeah, this is a delusional person, if they're real. You need to leave him alone. This isn't going to end well for you. OP responded, I can't walk away until this is fixed.
Uh-oh.
Walk away.
You're gonna.
Someone said, and if it was an open relationship, then how was it cheating? She says, because he left me within 8 months. That's way too fast.
8 months is 2 quarters, 2 fiscal quarters. That is a very long time.
Okay, update number 2.
Oh, here we go again.
This will probably be the last update. The restraining order has been...
Thank you, Queen.
We love that.
The restraining order has been filled, and I am not allowed within 100 feet of my ex, Harry, and his new girlfriend, Jess. I'm planning to move back to my home in Arizona and start over. They're happy, and I just want to find peace with myself. Thanks for everyone's advice and opinions. Yes, I was already in therapy, and I am still in therapy. Please, anyone my age or younger, listen to my advice. TikTok is not cool. Please delete it. It's done me nothing but harm, and other people's stupidity can really poison your minds in living proof. Thank you. Take care. I'm starting to go back to thinking this is real, and this is a person who is very, they've lost their mind.
Yeah, they lost the plot.
So OP in the comments alluded that TikTok was the reason she wanted an open relationship. She saw some stuff talking about it. So this is a very immature...
Wait. You're telling me everything on TikTok
not to be trusted.
not to be trusted?
You're telling me that... Is this some sort of misinformation?
You're telling me all the people that are poly on TikTok may not be on to something?
Update number 3.
Yes, let's go. Let's go.
So this is 2 years later.
Can I make an assumption that
Yeah.
she's gonna open it up with negging herself about doing an update?
She's like, guys, I can't believe.
Literally no one asked for this, but.
It's been 2 years. I've tried to stay offline and live life, but my ex and his now wife find new ways to live in my head rent-free. I wanted an open relationship, so what? You don't just string me along for 8 months, get some new girl who you met through me, and then marry her. This isn't fair. She's living in my home with someone who should be my husband, and he's been renewing the restraining order ever since it first expired, and I know he's gonna keep doing it because for reasons beyond my knowledge, the man hates me. FML.
Dude, this is why she's doing it.
2 years later?
Oh my God.
This is why he's doing it.
Guys, I fear this is real. I fear
100%
this is real.
now.
The way, and I will also say, the way this is written has me this person is typing this not they're just going off.
Oh, this is bad. I'm
Yeah.
now I'm scared for the husband and wife. In
This is beyond entitled. This is, they're in a different world.
They're living on a different planet, and it's unfortunate. 2 years later,
Ooh, man.
what kind of therapy? I think the on and off. I've been in on and off therapy for. I think that might say it too, because it's
on and off when you leaving a therapist as soon as they call you out on something.
Exactly.
Untrustworthy
that could
narrator.
be a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
That could be a thing. Yikes.
Whew.
God.
Take the hint. I don't know.
It's been 2 years.
I don't
think the hint's gonna stick.
I don't know what you would do.
Also, did she not meet anyone nice when she was open? I find it so hard to be so sprung, when he's
I don't
clearly
know.
moved on.
The story that I've heard on Reddit that is one of my favorite stories is a person writes in about their parents. And what happens is their parents are in their 50s. The dad wants an open relationship. So they begin to have an open relationship. He starts sleeping with his secretary, who he clearly had already been sleeping with.
Yeah.
And then the mom just starts sleeping with tons of dudes.
I love it.
And the dad loses his mind, and then the mom leaves him, and the dad then the secretary left him, and it just plays out just horrendously for the
Classy.
dad.
Yeah.
I am always amazed. I mean, this is scary.
Yeah.
But I'm always amazed at people who cheat and do so much horrible stuff and then are blown away and cannot handle when their partner leaves them.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, you thought you were allowed to just make all these mistakes and do all these horrible things and treat your partner so horribly, and the second that they choose themselves, you can't handle it. And they often can't handle it for years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think when you're in that position, you're not even thinking of the consequences, or you're rationalizing why this can be totally okay. Ned Try Guys podcast. That's the kind of situation you're looking into, and it's it's just already gone once you've
Right.
disconnected from the reality of the situation.
Oof. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's all our stories.
Wow.
Damn.
That was great.
That was really solid. I think we did good here.
I
I I feel really good.
I think we
about
did some
this.
good work here.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get an Emmy for this episode.
Yeah, let's get an Emmy.
We're gonna get an EGOT
Brett
for this.
Yeah,
For
if Brett and Link can, right? They got nominated or something. We can.
Damn, Sarah coming back and just shooting shots at other channels. All right.
Let's go.
Sarah, thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you guys so much. These are so fun. I
You're always
love
welcome,
coming
Hyo.
back. I love coming back.
Well, I think we'll see you on some other videos too. So
Yeah, just a few other ones today and tomorrow.
Yeah, just a little bit.
just a couple other things.
Doing a whole tour.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Tommy, thank you for joining us.
Oh, hey, thanks.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I live here.
All right. And thank you so much for watching. Let us know what other types of stories and categories and subreddits you want to see on this show. And we'll see you next Saturday. Goodbye.
Bye.
Don't be a butt face.
Don't be a butt face.
Don't be a butt face.